the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call the roll.
Trustee Guyer?
Here.
Trustee Spurling? Here. Trustee Bauman?
Here.
Trustee Youngerman?
Here.
Trustee Marisak?
Here.
Trustee Betzinger?
Here. And we're all here this evening. Moving into public participation, the first one is public hearing on Special Service Area 46 for Karis Center of Commerce. I'll open the public hearing. Is there any member of the public that's here tonight wishing to address the board on that topic? Okay, hearing none, I'll close that public hearing. I'll move into item B, Special Service Area 47 public hearing. This is Orchard 30. Oh, okay. Anybody in the audience tonight wishing to speak to us about that SSA? Okay, hearing none, I'll close that public hearing and move on to public comments. This is the 2-minute opportunity of any member of the public to address the board on any topic. You have 2 minutes. Are there any public comments this evening? Okay, did anybody submit written?
They did not.
Perfect. Okay, moving into consent, I'll read the items and entertain a motion for approval. We have minutes of the September 11th Village Board meeting, accounts payable through September 25th, the building report for August of 2023, the refuse report for August of 23, the reappointment of Kendall Wilson to the Board of Fire and Police Commission, and reappointment of Brian Baer to the Board of Fire and Police Commission. Item G is ordinance 2038, amending certain national codes and repealing and reestablishing new section 6 of our code, second reading. H is ordinance 2039, adopting and amending certain national code, repealing and reestablishing section 7 of our village code. And lastly, ordinance 2040, adopting and amending a certain national code and repealing and reestablishing new section 8.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Go ahead, call the roll.
Trustee Guyer?
Yes.
Trustee Spurling?
Yes.
Trustee Bauman?
Yes.
Trustee Youngerman?
Yes.
Trustee Marisak?
Yes.
Trustee Betzinger?
Yes.
That carries 6-0. Thank you. Moving on to items for separate action. The first one is ordinance 2041, granting a special use to expand a utility-scale solar energy system. This is Fox Metro at 800 South River Street. This is second reading. Director App.
Yes, as you are aware, this is Fox Metro requesting a special use in order to expand their solar field. At the last meeting, they brought up that they could not use chemicals to treat the gravel for dust control and asked that they be allowed to use water. And they also objected to the requirement to plow the access road. And the board asked staff to reach out to the fire district to see if there was a reasonable compromise regarding the plowing. So the ordinance approving the special use that's before you does not actually specify what needs to be used, just that dust control measures need to be taken. So we didn't feel that anything needed to be amended in the ordinance. Water is perfectly acceptable to provide dust control. We also reached out to the fire district, and they have stated that they do not have a minimum amount of snowfall that triggers the need to plow. They simply require that all fire access roads are maintained, and that includes being plowed after a snowfall. So based on this, the ordinance includes all the conditions that were previously presented to the village board.
Any questions?
I had just a comment. As I look through here and I see a landscape plan, it seems a little silly to me to plant trees where we're trying to create a solar energy area. Would it be better suited to not require those trees there and just plant them someplace else in the village?
That would require a slightly different avenue than what we've taken. That would require them requesting a tree fee in lieu, and then the village would plant those. They specifically located these trees on that side of the property to avoid it having any impact on the new solar arrays that they are putting in. The existing ones articulate, so they kind of follow the sun, whereas the ones that are putting in now are stationary, so that's why they're clearing some of the brush out of there and then locating those trees to the north. So it doesn't block the sun on those, since they can't adjust to trace the sun.
Oh, okay, I mean, I see on page, whatever it is, the landscape plan where they're lined up like soldiers. It doesn't make landscape sense. It doesn't make horticultural sense to plant trees that close together because they're eventually gonna grow into another, but,
We can work with them on spacing.
okay.
I move to approve.
Any further discussion?
Trustee Spurling?
Yes.
Trustee Bauman,
Yes.
Trustee Youngerman?
Yes.
Trustee Marisak?
Yes.
Trustee Betzinger?
Yes.
Trustee Guyer?
Yes.
That carries 6-0, thanks. Item B is a renewal of a PSA with Lane Christensen, providing discounts on well and pump maintenance within the Village of Montgomery. Director Wolf?
Thank you, President Brawley. So the village board in the past has agreed to this professional service agreement with Lane Christensen for the well rehabs. This is particularly important as when we come into situations where we need to perform emergency work, so we're have this agreement in place to be able to expedite that process. Another key factor to identify is the village does have still Byron Jackson motors with mercury seals that Lane specializes in and is a very important asset to the village to keep in place whenever possible. So all the more reason to move forward with this agreement tonight. If there's any questions, I'm happy to answer them at this time.
I have a question for you. And I know we've asked this a bunch of times. So we're planning to tap on to Lake Michigan in 2030, correct?
Believe
our
it's
goal.
2032 is what we're looking at currently.
So the contract renews through 2028. So then I guess we would go through one more renewal before I was thinking there was just a small gap, so, okay, I'm good. Never mind.
And we may likely continue to move forward with this agreement even after that fact, because we're going to have all of our backup wells in place. So again, something to take into consideration. We'll still need to provide maintenance on those wells throughout.
Okay, thank you.
Motion to approve. Second.
Trustee Guyer?
Yes.
Trustee Spurling?
Yes.
Trustee Bauman,
Yes.
Trustee Youngerman?
Yes.
Trustee Marisak?
Yes.
Trustee Betzinger?
Yes.
That carries 6-0. Item C is a PSA with EEI in the amount of $41,816 for design and construction engineering for well number 3 rehab. Director Wolf?
Thank you, President Briley. So the village and their preventative maintenance budgeting and programming that we do for our well rehabs, we are constantly looking at our wells. And in that process, we identified this year, our well number 8 was scheduled for rehabilitation, but while looking at our pumping data and confirming and working with EEI, we've decided to adjust that and supplement well number 3 for rehabilitation, due again to the pumping levels that we're seeing and the data that we're seeing there, as that well is very important to the lime softening plant, and therefore why we're recommending moving that up here tonight. So if there's any questions regarding this item, I'm happy to answer them at this time.
Do you have any idea of what may cause the reduction in production of the well?
We have some speculation, just given off of some of our past wells, kind of seeing the history of what's taking place with well 3, but don't want to jump to any conclusions, obviously, until we pull the well and we can confirm what our thoughts are. But at this point, there's nothing indicative of one particular problem or another.
Were the budgeted amounts for well 8 and well 3 the same?
They were not, actually. Well 8 was a higher budgeted rehab than well 3 was, so we should come in under, and we'll make the adjustment for next year's budget.
Motion to approve.
Trustee Guyer?
Yes.
Trustee Spurling? Yes. Trustee Bauman,
Yes.
Trustee Youngerman?
Yes.
Trustee Marisak?
Yes.
Trustee Betzinger?
Yes.
6-0. All right, moving along. Item D tonight is a PSA with EEI in the amount of $34,430 for the Blackberry Heights manhole inspections.
Thank you, President Brawley. So the village is looking to invest a substantial amount of money, obviously, in our water infrastructure as we move forward with the Lake Michigan option. But another item that we've identified is also looking at our other utilities. So in the process of water replacement as well as our IRP program, we're targeted to do work in the Blackberry Heights subdivision. So we thought it was only fitting to move forward with the evaluation of the sanitary structures as well as the sanitary piping in that area. So this area is co-jurisdictional with partly Village of Montgomery Streets and also unincorporated Aurora Township, in which the sanitary belongs to Fox Metro Water Reclamation District. So through our IGA and working with them, we're also looking at the next item that's coming up. But also, again, we wanted to look at the holistic of the sanitary distribution, or sorry, district collection system, and make sure that everything is intact, and seemed appropriate timing for us to do so prior to the IRP program, so that way any point repairs can be made ahead of that program, and ensuring that all the infrastructure is in good working condition. So if there's any questions regarding this item, I'm happy to answer them.
Is the cost that we see here the shared cost or the village portion?
This will be the village portion.
Okay.
Well, and this is the PSA, so this is the village portion of the PSA?
Correct. This is, so the
That's what I
Fox,
meant,
Fox Metro will be contracting. I can't guarantee that they're looking at their basins within the area. I do know that they're going to conduct the lining as part of the next item that's on here. Whether or not they're performing the actual basin inspections, I can't speak to that. So we'll be looking at our 24 structures that the village owns.
Okay.
So moved.
Second.
Trustee Youngerman?
Yes.
Trustee Marisak?
Yes.
Trustee Betzinger? Trustee Guyer?
Yes.
Trustee Spurling? Trustee Bauman?
Carries 6-0. Thank you. Rolling into item E, we have approval of a contract with Visu Sewer in the amount of $443,415.73 for sanitary sewer lining and rehab for the sanitary sewer system tributary to the Route 25 subbasin.
Thank you, President Bradley. So through the process last year, the village performed a SSES in the Route 25 substation area and identified segments of piping that are graded in a condition that need and warrant lining. Therefore, moving forward, we are suggesting to cut down on the infiltration in the sanitary collection system. We are proposing the lining of the area tributary to the Route 25 lift station. This lift station is currently being operated by Fox Metro Water Reclamation District. However, that will be transferred over to Village for operating in the near future. So again, investing in the infrastructure that we already have and ensuring that we're not overtaxing the lift station in high rainfall events prior to the village taking over that. Lift station operation only seemed appropriate for this project. So if there's any questions, I'll be happy to answer them at this time. The only other thing I did just forget to remember, or to mention, is the fact that this will be utilizing the IGA that the village board already approved at a previous meeting with Fox Metro. So it does satisfy all the requirements for bidding out this project, as the unit prices have already been established through the contract that's been accepted with Fox Metro. So again, any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
I'm not really familiar with lining too much, but are folks shut down from using the system while you're lining, or not really?
So Pete, I don't know if you can give a little bit more info on the particulars of the lining.
Yeah, so the process is they clean and televise the line, and when they televise the line, they mark all the services exactly. Then they will line a segment of pipe, and that requires it to be, the liner to be put in and then cured in place. So they will be out, people will be out of service while that's happening. Once the lining is cured and ready, then they send in a robotic cutter to open up the service lines. So it's not like several days or a week. It's a matter of I don't exactly remember the exact amount of time, but there is a period of time when they will be unable to utilize their facilities.
Okay.
Perfect. You're also doing the section on Amber and Parkview as part of this?
Correct, so we've identified some other, another area on Amber Drive that's problematic for the village, so it only seemed appropriate again to try to address those known areas while we have the contractor in town. There's also another area identified in this Route 31. Again, some defects there as well that we want to eliminate before they become a major issue.
Yeah, Amber, is we having root infiltration there? Is that the reason? Yeah, okay. I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Go ahead.
Trustee Guyer?
Yes.
Trustee Spurling?
Yes.
Trustee Bauman,
Yes.
Trustee Youngerman?
Yes.
Trustee Marisak?
Yes.
Trustee Betzinger?
Okay, carries 6-0. Item F tonight is Resolution 2023-027, authorizing an IGA with Sugar Grove Township Road District for the continued maintenance of Creekview Drive.
Yes.
Director App?
Thank you. So back in June, we annexed property on the west side of Orchard Road, north of 30, and part of that annexation did include the Creekview Drive right-of-way. That subdivision that it serves is all unincorporated and serviced by Sugar Grove Township Road District, and so they have agreed to continue to maintain that street for their residents. Maintenance will consist of repairs to the road, resurfacing, filling potholes, sign maintenance, culvert maintenance, ditch maintenance, brush removal, tree trimming, and plowing, and de-icing. So that was annexed back on June 12th. The township has reviewed this and has approved and signed the agreement, so next step is the village doing this. So, and this is just for the existing road as is.
Got it. And there's no cost associated with this?
There is not.
Oh,
I have a question.
Yes?
I believe during our conversations, there was talk of extending this roadway, correct, at some
Correct.
point? The extension of this roadway, will it be maintained by the village, or will it be maintained by Aurora Township?
That will be up for discussion at that time.
Okay. Sugar Grove Township, sorry.
But presently, there is no plan to do any expansion of any kind?
Okay. So moved.
Okay.
Second.
Moved in second. Any further discussion? Go ahead.
Trustee Youngerman?
Yes.
Trustee Marisak?
Yes.
Trustee Betzinger?
Yes.
Trustee Guyer?
Yes.
Trustee Spurling?
Yes.
Trustee Bauman?
Yes.
6-0. All right, items G and H tonight, staff has asked that we table those to a future meeting so they can rework that and serve that back up to us for approval. Any objection?
Nope.
Okay. The last one, item I, is Resolution 2023-028, authorizing the execution of agreements for the Consolidated Enterprise Resource Planning System and Time and Attendance Services. Director Maluski?
Yep. So, thank you, President Brawley. So February of last year, the village board agreed to hire Plant Moraine to assist us in the ERP system project. So this is a project that's also, we are using grant funds for, so we're using our American Rescue Plan funds to fund this project. Over the last year and a half, staff has been working with Plant Moraine to draft our request for proposal for the ERP system itself. We released the ERP proposal back in October. It closed in November. We received 3 vendor proposals in place. We invited, of those 3 vendors, 2 to come in for live demonstrations. Live demonstrations were completed in January and February with key staff members. And then from there, we did have some follow-up visits with one of the vendors to further demonstrate some of the modules and their capabilities. At that point in time, staff evaluated both vendors, and we moved forward into contract negotiations with BS&A with the recommendation of staff. So the contract that you see before you is actually 2. So BS&A would be providing a ERP solution for our general ledger, accounts payable, cash receipts, accounts receivable, fixed assets, utility billing, work order, payroll, human resources, building permits, and licensing solutions, with Andrew Technologies providing us a solution for attendance and timekeeping, which would be using the Kronos system and would just be maintaining that time sheet application that we currently use paper timesheets for. So there are several costs involved, as they've been outlined in the contract and on the cover letter. So just to bear in mind, so currently we pay about $47,000 in current ERP solutions, and none of our systems speak to one another. So this would put us on a unified program through several departments, and this would kind of ease some of our pain points that we have with the duplication and sometimes triplication of data entry. So I'm happy to answer any questions, should the board have any.
Questions? What is you may have said this while I was flipping through things. What is the timeline to implement?
So with Andrews Technologies, we look to implement that timekeeping piece in November, so November of this year for that. And then we'll look to implement with BSNA in 18 months, and that's based off of their availability and timelines because their products are in very high demand right now.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Rescue funds for?
So we received over $1.6 million of rescue funds, the grant. So we used a portion of that for water main replacement, and the other portion we carved out to pay for the ERP system implementation and training.
Got it. Thank you.
So I know this is something we've waited for a long time to have our systems talk to each other. Just looking through the list of the different software, it looks like everything except police will stay separate, right? So then everything
Right.
else will
And-
talk to each other?
Yes, and that's just for the standpoint of the dispatch services, that they have the agreement with New World and Kendo. So
Yeah.
we try to get as many systems on one package as we possibly could.
Sure. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure we didn't have several out there, but
Yeah.
it makes sense to have the police separate at this point, so, thank you.
I think we've been talking about this for what, at least 3 or 4 years?
Yes,
Yeah.
Yes, so it's a
Maybe
happy
10.
day.
yeah. That's one of those we've talked about from the beginning.
Is that a motion? Motion to approve?
Yes.
Second by Marisak. Any further discussion?
Trustee Spurling?
Yes.
Trustee Bauman?
Yes.
Trustee Youngerman?
Yes.
Trustee Marisak?
Yes.
Trustee Betzinger?
Yes.
Trustee Guyer?
Yes. 6-0, thank you. All right, nothing for discussion, anything new or unfinished? Okay, you can see future meetings there. Our next village board meeting is Monday, October 9th in this room. Would like to adjourn, actually accept a motion to adjourn executive session to discuss 2 things, the employment of an employee, and then also to discuss litigation that is probable or imminent.
So moved.
Second.
Go ahead.
Trustee Youngerman?
Yes.
Trustee Marisak?
Yes.
Trustee Betzinger? Trustee Guyer?
Yes.
Trustee Spurling?
Yes.
Trustee Bauman?
Yes. All right, and we're adjourned. Thank you.